I'm focused on my work on the Judiciary Committee. We just got our members and new members who are going to come on as Republicans. And frankly, what I'm focused on, Sean, is this crazy impeachment trial. Yeah. I mean, the Democrats have been trying to remove President Trump from office before he got there. Now they're trying to remove him after he's left. So, I mean, this is crazy. And that's what we're focused on, doing everything we can to make sure this thing gets over with and the president is not convicted in the United States Senate.
Congressman, I got to talk to you about the precedent that this sets, because, for one, you have no hearing in the House at all, as you saw last week. And we're just an hour away from Nancy Pelosi delivering this to the Senate, where they're essentially trying to just cut the political future out of Trump's hands, that he could ever run for anything. What happens in 3 to 5 years when the right wants to do this, and what is the left going to say?
No, it's a bad precedent. Now it looks like the Chief Justice Roberts may not preside. That's a bad precedent, I think, when you move forward. I liked a few of the things that President Biden said last week in his inaugural about unifying. But how do you unify when you're trying to impeach a president that's already left? How do you unify when you impeach a president with no due process? How do you unify when you have the cancel culture trying to prevent 75 million people from even speaking, from even exercising their First Amendment liberties and having a real debate in this country? So this is not healthy for the nation, what they're doing. And as you point out, this sets a bad precedent as we move forward.
It's a horrible. I mean, you can now use it to go after your political enemies after they've left office, so they don't present a threat to you in the future. This is, I think that the left is making a huge political mistake. Can I ask, like you mentioned the Judiciary Committee, are you guys going to be involved? You got, as Lindsay mentioned, you got cut out in the House because Pelosi didn't actually follow historical precedent. But what is like your role, or are any of you guys going to be, defenders of the president in the Senate trial?
Yeah, I don't think we will be on the Senate floor, but we will certainly be making the case like we are right here on TV and in the media, making sure that the country knows what's going on here, what the Democrats are trying to do. I mean, think about this. The fundamental issue is, how do you incite a riot that was already planned? How do you incite a riot that when the breach happened before the president completed his speech? How do you incite a riot when the president said, peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard? This is ridiculous. So you have the lack of due process, the fact that he's left office, and the fact that he was engaging in constitutionally protected speech and specifically told rallygoers, peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard, which is what you're supposed to do in this great country. That is First Amendment liberties. That is basic freedom. So this whole case is ridiculous. The country knows it. But you're right, Sean. What they're scared of is this not just about threatening the president in the future. This is about making sure he can't run. He can't run again in 2020. That's what they're afraid of, because this president, when he was president, did more of what he said he would do than any president in our lifetime. And that is something the American people appreciate. What are you going to do? Go do what you told me you're going to do. Go do what I elected you to do. That's what President Trump did. And that's why the Democrats are afraid of him.
Congressman, I want to switch gears for 1 second, because of impeachment, there's obviously some folks on the House side, your colleagues, that voted for impeachment. I'm with you on this thing. But here's my question. We face, frankly, some serious concerns about what this administration is already doing. And if we're not united in speaking out as you do, as making sure people understand what's at stake, we're in big trouble. And the question I have for you is, walk me through the sort of, how do we right the ship within our own party so that people get focused on Biden and this agenda and stop maybe the infighting? Or do you think that we need to have this discussion internally first?
No, we focus on what the Republican Party is about. The Republican Party is about, the strength of the individual. It's about individual liberty. It's about lower taxes so families have more of their money that they can spend on what they spend. It's about keeping energy costs low, making sure we're energy independent. And we contrast that with what the President Biden is doing with his executive orders, what he did with energy and the pipeline. I mean, my guess is, unfortunately, energy prices are probably going to go up now. That hurts every single family. My guess is when he gets rid of the 1776 commission, he's going to now be focused on this radical left agenda, this 1619 project mindset, which doesn't look at the basic principles and institutions and values that I think made our country the special place, the greatest country ever. So I think we just show the contrast, do it in a forceful way, but do it with a smile on our face. I mean, Vice President Pence had a great line. He said, I'm a conservative and I'm not mad about it. I mean, let's have this smile on our face and let's talk about the truth. And that's why they like President Trump so much. The country did, because he came at this as America first, make America great again. you saw, you felt, you knew it was genuine, that he truly loves this country and the working class, middle class, regular Americans who make the country actually prosper and grow. And that's what we got to focus on as we go forward. And if we do that in the right way, I think 2022 is going to be a good year for Republicans.
Yeah,
I agree.
Looking forward to that, hopefully. I want to talk to you about, you talked about Biden saying he wants to unify the country. I think that we all like that, but we haven't seen a lot of that. We saw all these executive actions that are coming out of the White House now. He never fully articulated his policy items on the campaign trail. Sean and I talked about that just moments ago. And now he's signing these executive actions that are riffing off of Trump, this America First. He's closing down the Keystone Pipeline, taking jobs. People are finally, I think, realizing how progressive he's actually going to be. Yeah. With this impeachment stuff, do you think that he really can unify? What does he need to do? How does he need to shift to make that a reality instead of just saying it to actually doing it?
Well, best thing, he should have done this last week, or frankly sooner. He should tell the Senate, forget this impeachment. We should, that'd be the best thing you can do to unify. But you're right. I'm very nervous about what he said and the actions he's taken. 14,000 illegals he's going to release. 71% of those 14,000 have criminal records. How is that good for the country? How is that putting America first? How is that positive for whether you voted for Biden or voted for President Trump? How does that help? So those are the things that I think trouble so many people. And you're right. We didn't know about this during the campaign because he frankly barely left his house during the campaign. And that's what's unfortunate.
But I think about people in Ohio and around the country who are suddenly going, wait a second, I'm going to lose my job because Keystone shut down. I didn't realize that you guys were going to, give citizenship to 12 million people. These are real things that affect real people's livelihoods, Congressman.
Yeah, real union worker livelihoods, too. That's why so many union workers are now Trump Republicans. You're exactly right. It hurts the people who make this country work, the people who do the hard work. And it's wrong. We should talk about it. We should, just this double standard that drives Americans crazy. One set of rules for the elite. Think about last week. Last week, they literally put a wall around the Capitol to protect the politicians. But you can't have a wall on the border to protect the country. Whoa, no, we wouldn't want to do that. We wouldn't want to do what's best for the people who pay our salary. We would want to do what's best for the people we get the privilege of representing in the United States Congress. No. But we're going to make sure we got 25,000 National Guard people here, and we got razor wire and a wall around the Capitol. Look, I wanted it to be safe, and it was safe. And we what happened on January 6th was tragic and wrong. But let's remember the American people, and let's not undo all those good policies that President Trump put in place.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later, but there was a huge contrast last week with the police, the use of the military, and the fencing. It was kind of interesting that all the Democrats suddenly were for.
And then Sean, to kick him in the garage, put him in the garage.
It was disgusting.
We had the Ohio guys were really right down the hall from me, right here in the Rayburn building. I went down and talked to one group, and it was in one room, another group down the other end of the hall. Great Americans, all these guys risk their lives, do the things they do, sacrifice, go away from it, leave their family, leave their job to come here and do this. And then somebody says, oh, we're gonna put them all now out in the parking garage. You got to be kidding me. That was so ridiculous.